So at the heart of what Bartell does is industrial machinery systems for manufacturers to allow them to make their products. So traditionally we've worked within the tire industry, wire and cable, and oil and gas. And within the tire, there's multiple components, and this is a good example of that, that make the tire. So it's constructed of a lot of components. It was interesting enough that when I came to work at Bartell, I had no idea what constructed a tire. You know, I thought it was a rubber piece and they blew it up and it was all a mold in one piece.
Like Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's actually multiple components. So Bartell's two primary areas are the bead, which is what holds your tire to the rim,
Right.
and then what they call the apex, or the filler. And that actually gives the sidewall a lot of stability and a lot of performance on how the tire acts under loads. So what we do is make the machinery systems for Bridgestone, Michelin, Goodyear, all the major tire manufacturers that actually make these components that go within the tire. Also, in our wire and cable division, we actually make all sorts of machinery that make wire and cable. So everything from home wire and cable to bridge wire that holds up bridges to high tension power lines that you see on the road. So we make all sorts of machinery systems that make those configurations of cable, actually twisting the wires together. And then within our oil and gas segment, we deal with mostly deep water offshore components, specifically flexible pipe. And the flexible pipe is what attaches to the wellheads. And you can see that here a little bit better. And this actually attaches to the wellhead up to the rig. And they use this because it's a little bit easier to install or deploy versus rigid. They don't have to weld. They can use mechanical joints to combine that together, and it actually sits on the seafloor a little bit better. Plus, they can spool this up. So on the deployment shifts, it makes it a little easier. But we focus on the metallic layers of the pipe. So you have an inner layer, which is called the carcass, and then you have a pressure layer or a flex lock and a tensile. So you get to think that the pipe actually hangs off those rigs about 3,000 meters. So it's got to be self-supporting so it doesn't pull apart, filled with oil, plus the pressure gradients from the seabed floor to the surface.
Wow.
Yeah, so some of the larger systems we make are for this type of application. You see some of them here, you can see scale. So this machine here holds 88 bobbins and weighs, when it's fully loaded, approximately 800,000 pounds. So a large scale operation. We have some really unique requirements, heavy lift requirements. So a lot of our safety efforts have been focused around how do we manage those risks around those safety requirements and that equipment. A lot of rotating equipment too. So our safety analysis for not only internally when we do our assembly qualification, but for our customers as well. We go through processes to make sure that the risk is reduced at the customer site. So.
So obviously, this is very high-tech, specialized equipment. It's not, just building bandsaws. Do you guys do servicing too with your
Absolutely.
equipment?
We do full installation and servicing, and we have field tech service engineers that go around the world.
Okay.
So on the oil and gas side, there's major markets. So most of it's down in Brazil for the offshore. We play in the deep and the ultra deep sea. So it's anywhere between 1,500 and 3,000 meters. That pipe right there actually goes to about 20 inches on diameter. The machines can make.
Really?
And you can see here just the scale. I mean, that's a person standing right here. On the tensile machine, they're standing down there. So that's massive equipment. We design everything. We engineer it and design it, and then we export it. So all these products are pretty much going offshore.
Okay, right.
Overseas.
So one of the interesting things you'll see here is that we're pretty vertically integrated. So from, as Pat said, design, manufacture, conceptualization of the machinery systems to deliver these product components, to the machining of the parts, to the assembly, to all the way to the installation. So we have to actually qualify some of the machinery systems here fully, completely disassemble, box them up, ship them, and then reassemble and requalify. And that can be anywhere in the globe. We ship, a majority of our products are export.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's quite an extensive operation from start to finish. So.
Yeah, it sounds it. So did you guys start more with the wire spooling? I know we've got a bit of the wire companies in this area.
Yep.
We did. Okay.
Yep. So the original history was Bartell. Mr. Bartell was a tool and die manufacturer, and that was his discipline, and that's how the business started. And then he took his relationships and experience. He worked for General Cable at one point in time, and then he took that and actually developed tubular stranders as a first entry into that market. And then through that we were acquired and gained some other technologies that got us into the tire or the oil and gas. So over that period of time, that's how we've ventured into some other segments. We're also starting to leverage now Industry 4.0, robotics, so branching out not only in the extension in the plant space that we are to now to spread our footprint, but also a couple adjacent markets. So coil winding, for example, or for electric motors, since that's becoming a more and more prevalent market, we're looking at systems on how to do that and expand the business. So what we'll do, we'll probably take a walk back out, and we'll show you some of our more advanced machinery systems, some of the places we've invested in the business, specifically 3D printing. So we're doing that. We're getting into that, and then some of our more advanced machining centers, and we'll just work our way through the shop out to where the presentation will be. So.